Good morning. I'm Cheyenne, and welcome to How to Keep Your Job 101. Today, we're going to talk about something that seems like common sense, but not always considered common sense. And that's just minding your business at work, staying out of office drama. Sometimes that can look as simple as not sharing information that was only shared with you. Sometimes that can look like walking away from information being shared with you that is not so kind about your coworkers and or clients, people you service, whatever it may be. I'm trying to finish up these last curls because curls is for the girls. But basically, yeah, just staying on your employer's good side by not being caught up in anything that is not work related professionally. And so that can look like having an incident come up at work and being very proactive and not sharing any of the information from that incident, and or stopping incidents from occurring, but not being a superhero, right? Like just not spreading the word when you hear whatever the word is on whatever's going on at work. And so a lot of times at work, you do create coworkers or work friends, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you're constantly getting reprimanded or talked to about said relationships with these coworkers or work friends, whatever you may call them, then it's probably time to reevaluate if you want to be at your job for you or if you want to be at your job for friends. Excuse me, if you want to be at your job for you, if you want to be at your job for friends. That is basically just choosing to do the work that's asked of you. And then if you have time to make friends, you can do that. But a lot of times at work, we get caught up in the relationships and not the professional work that is tasked upon us. And then that causes us to move further away from the work that we're being asked to do, to participate in social things. And professionally, that doesn't look great. You should go to work for work, and if you happen to make friends, that's great. But you should go to work for work. Because the goal is to either create a career from your job, move up in your job, or move on from your job, but have good reviews references when it's time to leave said work. And a lot of people ask for references when you go to a new job to see how you worked in the last job. And if they cannot share good information about you, that does not look well. So you want to keep it professional more than social at work. It's very helpful in keeping your job. Employees are okay with you being likable and they want you to create relationships if it's a part of selling a selling point, or it just helps the job move easier. But a lot of times they don't care how many friends you have at work if the task that they're asking you to get done gets done. Some people think like, oh, if I'm not liked, that'll make my job much harder. And it's not true. Sometimes if you can just do your job while remaining respectful, because that's two different things, right? If I'm at work all day and I don't speak to anybody, that creates a hostile environment. If I do a cordial hello to everyone in the space and we can go about our business, we don't have to be best friends. As long as you get what I'm asking you to do and I get what you're asking me to do, we don't have to be best friends. But we do have to be able to work in the same space professionally, because we come to work for each other. We came to work to get a check. And a lot of times people forget the check part of their work and they just want to hang out with the people that they came to create these relationships with. Another thing I already spoke about, but I just want to go over one more time. Not gossiping, right? Not sharing information that you came privy to from someone else. And a lot of times, let's be honest about it, if somebody's bringing information to you to share about someone else, they can easily do the same thing to you, sharing information about you to someone else. So just be mindful about what you're talking about with your coworkers, because at the end of the day, that's what they are. They're your coworkers. They come to work where you work, and that's great that you guys felt comfortable enough to share some personal things with one another. But just remember, you're at work when you're sharing these personal things. So be mindful about how much of that you really want to share with people that you don't actually know. For example, and this is the last example, I come to work, I have a work friend. We created a long relationship that I consider to be valuable. And so I tell them, like, hey, I'm not coming in on Friday. I'm leaving early for my vacation. And they tell you this information, privy to you, for you, and you're supposed to call out on Friday as well, but you can't because your coworker is not in and they need somebody to fill the space. And they called out sick for this time instead of actually requesting the time off. And you know this information and you share it with somebody because you're frustrated about it. Or they share it. It could be the opposite. Either way, well, by the time it gets back to you, the person is upset because they're like, hey, I told you this information in confidence, thinking you wouldn't tell anybody. And now the whole office knows that I left for vacation instead of being out sick. And now they're upset. And now you guys don't necessarily get along anymore. You don't consider yourself friends because this information was shared. So you have to be mindful about the relationships you choose to create at your workplace that you don't have to, and the information you share. You can also have coworkers that you enjoy that you don't give all of your personal business to, and it creates a great work environment because everybody enjoys each other, and that's just it. You don't have to tell them anything about you. You can share favorite TV shows, juvenile stuff that doesn't cause any problems, but people tend not to do that. They tend to share their life, and then when it comes back to bite them in the butt, they're a little upset or a lot of upset. And it's just like, you didn't have to share this information with these people. You chose to, and this is where we came to with it. So let's just go over it for the last minute. Be professional at all times. Don't share gossip. Don't participate in things that don't have anything to do with you. And you can keep your job and maybe even get a promotion out of it. I'm always talking about how you can always level up. And not being a part of the drama helps you level up. Have a good day.